I'm about to say something super crazy and totally not a thing that everyone knows, but there is a lot of anime in the world. We've got action shows, comedies, dramas, slice of life, romance, sports, advanced romance, and plenty of others. But with thousands upon thousands of shows to choose from, it almost seems like a chore at times to pick the next one that we're going to watch. And oftentimes reading a synopsis actually does nothing, so that's not going to make us pull the trigger and start watching. So that brings us to today's topic, anime openings. Openings serve a crucial role in attracting consumers to shows, because in just a short amount of time we're exposed to characters, the art style, plot points that hopefully don't spoil the entire show, and amazing music. I know a lot of people don't even watch openings or endings for animes, but for me personally, not ashamed to say this, one of my main methods for selecting shows. So with that being said, I think it'd be fun to discuss anime openings and endings and the shows that do them extremely well and the ones that are shit. And at the end, I'll share with you some of my favorites, just in case you're curious, which I know you're probably not, but it at least makes me feel a little bit better on the inside thinking that you do. I should also preface this by saying it is in no way a foolproof method to selecting a show. Just because an anime has a good opening doesn't mean the contents within are going to be good. There are plenty of animes with banger openings that are complete dumpster fires. Obviously, a key component to openings and endings is music. And I'll tell you, I fucking love music. Music's great, anime music included. Yeah, I learned the lyrics to Bluebird just so I could sing along as it played. I'd say I have a pretty diverse music selection and enjoy pretty much every genre, except country. But I can't say I recall the last country anime opening I've heard, so I think we're going to be okay in that department. But at the end of the day, we do need to remember that music is subjective. The music that I like isn't necessarily going to be the music that you like. However, you can't deny that a catchy intro draws you into a show. I don't know why. It's actually a question I ask a lot about things in my life. But at like 4 a.m., I'll find myself putting on 2 fucking hour-long anime opening compilations, and if one of the songs is just good enough to slightly open my eyes that were about to be forcefully shut due to sleep deprivation, might honestly give the show a watch. One example of where this actually happened is the show Rainbow. The opening is done by the band Cold Rain, who I actually already liked from their original music and became an even bigger fan when their song Mayday appeared on the anime Fire Force. The intro screaming guitar riff instantly got me hooked, and I knew I had to watch this show if it was just to listen to that song a few more times. And oh my god, that was a great choice. Rainbow is an absolute fan-fucking-tastic show, and I honestly might make a dedicated video on it because I think it's that underrated. And then on the flip side, you have shows like Macaco City Actors, where I still have no clue what that show's about even after watching it, but damn, that opening is so good. Now's usually the point where I would just switch to the next topic because there really isn't much more to say about music. It's just, song good or song bad. There isn't anything super unique that can be done unless some show just decided to change who performed the opening, but no show is actually done. Yes, they have. On episode number 4, as well as the final episode for the Misfit of Demon King Academy, the opening is performed by none other than the Demon King himself, Anos Voldigode. I don't know why I randomly thought about that, but I'm glad I did, because it's actually pretty cool. This moves us into our next topic that I'd like to discuss, which is tone. Now, to me at least, I think openings and endings should musically reflect what the characters are going through at that current point. I say musically because although I am a weeb, I can't understand Japanese, so the song could have really deep lyrics and I would have no idea. I'd just be vibing to the music. Now, while a lot of shows do this very well, others have tonal choices that are downright confusing and make me very unsure of what emotion I'm supposed to be feeling. I think the comedy genre is maybe the only one that can get away with this because it almost adds to the humor to have something completely off the wall and unexpected playing. Something like the opening to Watamote. I find these weird tonal choices happen more on endings or maybe shows that have multiple seasons or multiple openings within a single season. Here's just a couple examples of ones that I've experienced. A few months ago, I finally decided to sit down and watch Clarinet Afterstory. Now that's a show I would say most people would say is on the sadder side of anime, especially in the second half. So how are you gonna have a show that beats you emotionally episode after episode and then has an ending like this? Then we have openings for shows like Death Parade, Which, quick side note again, why is this song so good? But it makes you feel as if you're gonna watch a nice little slice of life of maybe people at a bar and not a psychological thriller. Even the critically acclaimed Can't Do Anything Wrong Hunter x Hunter isn't safe from this. The show uses the same opening for its entirety, and again, don't get me wrong, it's a good song, but in places like the Chimera Ant arc, which is arguably the darkest and most serious arc of the show, we're met with an upbeat sound and lyrics like, "You're gonna tell me we could just try again? Well, I don't know if you saw the show, but God nearly kills himself for revenge, and Killua breaks down because he can't stop him, so I don't know if there's gonna be too much trying if they mess that up." I think animes like these could have benefited from song changes, especially in the cases like Hunter x Hunter and Clarinet, where the song plays for the entire show. It definitely does make sense in some parts of it, but really does not in others. And while there are countless other shows that do the exact same thing, there are a ton of shows that get tone right. Attack on Titan might have the best tone on openings in anime, period. That epic orchestral sound fits the style of the show perfectly and puts your head in the mindset of like, damn, I'm really about to watch a war. Another great example of almost perfect tone is Anohana's opening. The song's very sad but inherently beautiful, which is almost exactly how I would describe Anohana as a show. The final component to openings is the animation. Here is where we're going to get an idea of the art style, characters, and minor plot points that hopefully don't spoil too much. And since openings are a form of promotional material, it will often have a bit better animation than the actual show, but it's usually nothing too drastic. And of course, you're not going to get any backstory because they don't talk in the opening, but it is cool to see who the potential main and supporting cast will be and who maybe will be joining them if it's later on in the series. And as far as spoilers go, yeah, it does kind of suck when we're shown more major plot points, but we do have to consider that most animes are created from already existing mangas or light novels, so it's almost expected that the user knows what's going to happen in the show. The main culprit of these quote-unquote spoilers is definitely the shonen genre, because in most openings we're exposed to what the characters are going to be doing in that arc, and that often involves who they're going to be fighting, but they usually don't show enough to where it's a deal breaker. Something I do want to talk about, though, is openings that actually change their animation as the show progresses. I think this is absolutely genius and should be explored more often. My favorite example of this currently is Jujutsu Kaisen. Not only do they change up the animation in the opening as the show progresses, but they also put in fake spoilers. For someone like me who only watches anime and doesn't read manga because I'm illiterate, stupid, worthless, a piece of trash, I can definitely appreciate this a bit more. At the end of the opening, there's an image that shows Itadori, Gojo, Fushiguro, and Junpei sitting around a tree. But as we meet the characters that will be joining them throughout the show, they're actually added to that image and it makes it filled out and seem more lively. There's another scene where Gojo puts his hands on his blindfold, but then it cuts away to the next frame. However, once he's had his fight with Jogo where he reveals his eyes to the audience, they're also revealed to us in the opening as well. And then we have that fake spoiler. We go back to that image around the tree, but this time it's Junpei in the sorcerer gear. Now if you watch the show you know, but all I gotta say is fuck you, Mappa, why do you have to play with my emotions like that? I do really hope this becomes a more common thing in openings because I have a fun time trying to look for those Easter eggs. That's pretty much all I got for you guys today. I've always really been into anime openings and endings just because of how much music means to me, and I really think they do a good job at carrying the emotions of the show. And like I said a bit earlier, I'm going to put on the screen some of my favorite openings and endings in anime. Unfortunately, we can't play them though, because I wanted to chemically castrate myself as it is trying to avoid copyright while making this. And there are tons of great and just fucking awful openings that I didn't cover in this because it would go on forever, so I'm really hoping that you guys can put some of your favorites or maybe ones that you found confusing or just didn't like in the comments below. I'll definitely be interested into checking some of those out. As always, I have to give a huge shout out to the people over on Patreon. If you're looking for another way to support me, this is one of the best ways to do so. We have a bunch of different tiers with very cool rewards, including things like early access to videos, exclusive content on there that you won't see on the main channel, being able to vote on games that I'll play on stream, and even having your name up on the video like these wonderful people. And if you enjoyed this video, if made you laugh or anything or whatever, I'd appreciate it if you liked it and maybe subscribed if you haven't already. You can always unsubscribe when you hate one of my opinions in the future. Thank you guys so much again. Hope to see you here next time.